The dust. When love turns dirt into a miracle. The story begins in a bleak Mexican town where a young man named Luis is about to be executed for drunkenly running down a child. His father is consumed by grief, his granddaughter by desperation, and the whole town by the familiar cycle of guilt and punishment. Into this scene wanders Mr. Sykes, a peddler and con man, carrying a satchel of trinkets and a tongue dripping with cynicism. He mocks their suffering while dangling false hope in the form of magic dust. For 100 pesos, a fortune, they can buy a pouch of dirt which he promises will work a miracle at the gallows. The dust as ego's bargain. On the surface, Sykes is a fraud. He scrapes dirt from the ground and sells it as salvation. That is the ego's business model in miniature. Take what is valueless, charge a great price, and claim it will fix the unfixable. The father's desperation blinds him to the obvious, because grief always makes the mind susceptible to the ego's bargains. The entire community mortgages its security to pay for what is already worthless. This is exactly what A Course in Miracles calls buying nothing at the cost of everything. The rope that breaks. At the execution, the father flings the dust toward the gallows. The rope snaps under Luis's weight, sparing him from death. The crowd recoils, stunned. Was it God? Was it magic? Or was it chance? The truth is not in the mechanics, but in the meaning. Judgment collapses under the weight of love. The people realize they don't want another death. They recognize a deeper law than punishment, the law of mercy. What breaks that day is not only a rope, but the continuity of hatred, the holy flip, dirt into love. Sykes himself is dumbstruck. His scam somehow carried the seed of truth. What he meant for deceit became the catalyst for forgiveness. That is the paradox. Love does not depend on purity of motive. Even dirt can be turned to gold when it is reinterpreted by the Holy Spirit. What Sykes scooped off the ground was never magic. But the willingness of the community to see differently, even for a moment, transformed the dust into a miracle. The real miracle. The dust is love. Not a substance, but a shift in vision. When the people chose mercy over vengeance, dust became light, and the gallows became an altar of release. The miracle was not that the rope snapped, it was that hearts snapped open. That is why the episode ends with Sykes himself scattering the dust among children, laughing at the irony. What he thought was worthless trickery turned out to hold the one truth the world needs. Rod Serling's closing narration. There was a village built of crumbling clay and rotting wood, and it squatted there on a sun-baked plain like a sick and mangy animal waiting to die. Until fate stepped in. A dealer in fairy tales, a peddler of empty dreams, a magician with the staff of truth. And what he conjured up was justice. What he produced was love. Metaphysical core Sykes equals ego salesman. Promises magic, sells dirt, laughs at suffering. The dust equals projection of belief. Dirt by itself is nothing, but in the presence of willingness, it symbolizes love. The rope breaking equals forgiveness, interrupting judgment. The law of punishment gives way to the higher law of mercy. The miracle equals love shining through illusion. Not in the form, but in the content, the end of attack. This is why the dust still speaks today. It reminds us that the world is full of Sykes, voices selling dirt as salvation, but even their lies can be undone. When love enters, dirt becomes dust, dust becomes light, and the gallows dissolve into grace.